I had the honour of making my debut in 2012 against the All Blacks, and I remember being on the bench, just going into the last 15 minutes, and Mike Catt looks at me and says, "Freddie, you're going on." So obviously, come on, replaced Owen Farrell, and the referee sticks his arm out for a penalty. And lucky enough for me, it was 10 metres out, bang in front of the post. Because the fact we were winning at the time, the crowd just burst into swing low. The reason why this kick was so special was because I could enjoy the atmosphere of Twickenham, whereas if it was a kick from the touchline, I would have blocked it all out. I remember just doing the warm-up and just being buzzing, and you go in, you sort of put your kit on, and you sort of like look down again and sort of see the, and you sort of thinking, Jesus, what's going on here? And then I went out into the tunnel, and obviously I was towards the back, so I was on the bench. And suddenly, like, the All Blacks come out, and it's, you know, your Richie McCaws, your Dan Carters, all these kind of players. And I just remember thinking, what the hell am I doing here? Like, I was 22. I'll be honest with you, I genuinely felt like a competition winner. I was buzzing for weeks after that. It was just an amazing day, and yeah, something that I wish I could relive. The kick I wish I could have again is something that I'll probably never forget. Is probably the kick against Toulouse for Bath. We were losing by 2 points, and we had a kick from pretty much in front of the post, about 25 metres out, and I just didn't catch it right. And from then we play a few phases. Obviously, I end up breaking through, and then the whole sort of not putting the ball down, having the ball knocked out of my hands by Maxi Madar happened. If that kick goes through the post, the whole course of that game goes on a different path. I knew that inside that I was going to bounce back. It just shows that, like, failure is not final in that instance. But now, whenever I take the pitch, in the back of my mind, I just sort of say, well, the worst thing that could have possibly happened to me on the pitch has happened, so it ain't going to get any worse than that. So you might as well just go out there and enjoy it, and that's the kind of mindset I try to take. So, yeah, I wish it never happened, but there's definitely positives that have come from it. It was quite a tough end to my Gloucester career when I decided to leave. But I played a lot of games for the club, and I was closing in on 1,000 points, and we were playing London Irish at home. From the touchline, struck it well, had sort of my family in the crowd, and when it went over, it got announced on the loudspeaker, and I remember being on the pitch just thinking, you know, it may have been tough to leave, but to have left having sort of scored 1,000 points for the club, I kind of felt like that was a good milestone to say, look, I've contributed and I've sort of done my bit. I think standout memories there would just be playing in front of the shed. That sort of energy you got from the crowd was unbelievable, and some of those games were tight. I remember playing Leicester down at Kingsholm, and we were digging in, and you could almost cry. You wanted to win that bad, you could almost cry on the pitch because you're under so much pressure, but the crowd just sort of get you through. So I have immense pride when I talk about playing for the club and looking back and what I contributed. So my idol growing up was Carlos Spencer. I remember waking up at 7:30, 8 on a Saturday. Before I would go and play school rugby, I would watch Super Rugby. And I remember watching Carlos Spencer play for the Blues, where first and foremost it's an unbelievable try. They run from their own line. They go the length through a few sets of hands, and Carlos Spencer crosses the line pretty much under the sticks, but then decides to jog to the touchline and then walk with the whole team around him, and he dots the ball down as close as he can to the touchline. I was pretty young, and I remember watching it being like, what's he doing? And then he went back and just nonchalantly knocked the kick over from the touchline. And that was the moment where I was like, that's cool. I want to be that guy who knocks the ball over from the touchline. So that was the moment that probably ignited the fire in me to want that responsibility of goal kicking and want to be that guy. And I was actually very fortunate when I first signed for Gloucester, he was at Gloucester at the same time. So I played my first ever senior game at 10 with Carlos at 12. So yeah, it was pretty special. Going from watching him kicking that kick on a Saturday morning to being named in a team alongside him was amazing. The Saints kick was from about here. It was one of those where the crowd noise told me that it went over before I looked up and saw it. People always used to say, oh, what are you saying to yourself over the ball? Because I used to sort of mouth stuff on the TV. And people like to think it's technical points. Whereas actually, me and Jordan Murphy used to bet chocolate bars and beers on it. So I'd be stood here and he'd say, oh, if you get this, I'll buy you a 4-pack of double-deckers. And I'd just say, oh, yeah, we're on. And that would just, like, relax me. I think that's the thing as a kicker. You get opportunities like that to sort of dig your team out. And I was just happy that it went through and we were able to celebrate a win against our nearest rivals. The idea in having your technique and your run-up is so that you're not thinking about the occasion, it's just another kick and you're trying to recreate the same action. Don't get me wrong, you're very aware when the referee gives a penalty and you're very aware that you have to step up and kick it maybe to win the game, but yeah, I just try and focus on the process in those moments.